Hello friends, welcome to my channel Tag Botany. If you are new on my channel, then subscribe and press the bell icon to get new videos. Friends, in today's lecture, we will study family Asclepiadaceae. The family Asclepiadaceae is also called as milkweed family because the members of this family contain milky latex in them. So friends, let us begin. So these are the learning objectives of today's lecture. We will study classification of family Asclepiadaceae according to Bentham and Hooker's system of classification, which is the widely accepted system of classification. Then we will study geographical distribution of the family. Then we will catch up with vegetative characters like root, stem and leaves. We will also study floral characters like inflorescence, flower and fruit. So let us begin with the classification of family Asclepiadaceae. The family Asclepiadaceae has been classified by Bentham and Hooker into division Spermatophyta, subdivision Angiosperms, class Dicotyledons, subclass Gamopetalae, series Bicarpellatae, order Gentianales, and family Asclepiadaceae. So this is the hierarchical classification of family Asclepiadaceae according to Bentham and Hooker's system of classification. Let us see the geographical distribution of family Asclepiadaceae. This family includes about 280 genera and 1800 species. The members of this family are mainly found in the tropical regions of the world. Friends, we know that tropical regions are the regions near the equator, that means warmer parts of the world. Let us begin the general characters, that is vegetative characters. First of all, habit. Family Asclepiadaceae comprises mostly erect or twining perennial herbs. Friends, in this family you will find mostly the perennial herbs which are having erect or twining type of habit. Erect means the plants which are growing upright, and twining means the plants are climbing with the help of other objects or plants. Then there are shrubs, for example Calotropis procera, or woody climbers, but some are succulents. So we know that succulent means the plants which store water in their organs, and the organs become fleshy because of the storage of water. Then cactus like plants are also there, for example Stapelia. Rarely there are small trees like Calotropis gigantea. Then there may be some epiphytic plants like Dischidia. So here in the picture you can see Ceropegia, which is the genus of this family Asclepiadaceae, that is a herb. Then Gymnema sylvester is a woody climber, and Hoya is a succulent plant. So in this plant you can observe the fleshy leaves. These are the fleshy leaves, and these fleshy leaves are because of the storage of water. Therefore they are called as succulent plants. Then here you will find a perennial herb, that is Asclepias. Then a shrub Calotropis procera. Then Leptadenia, which is a vine or climber. Then Stapelia, which is a cactus like plant. So see, there are cactus like structures or stem that is there in this Stapelia. Then Calotropis gigantea is a small tree, and Discidia is a epiphytic plant belonging to this family Asclepiadaceae. These are the variations of the habit found in family Asclepiadaceae. Then coming to root. Root system in this family is taproot system, which is branched, but sometimes tuberous roots are also found. So here in this picture you can see the tuberous roots of Calotropis. So these tuber like roots are also medicinally important. While studying the economic importance of this family, we will focus on the medicinal importance of this plant. So let us move further. Stem of Asclepiadaceae is described as follows: aerial, erect or climbing. Aerial means the stem is growing in the air, that is above the ground. Erect or climbing means, erect means growing upward, upright, and climbing means growing with the help of another object or another plant, that is called as climbing stem. Then the stem is branched, shape of the stem is cylindrical, stem is pubescent. Pubescent means stem is covered with hairs. Stem is woody, that means it is having sclerenchyma like, xylem like tissues. Then it is solid, and the most important character is the stem contains milky latex. So here in this image you can see the milky latex of this Asclepiadaceae member. So here in Matelia obliqua you can observe the pubescent stem. The stem is covered with small hairs, that is called as pubescent stem. Then this one is erect stem. This is Calotropis. The stem is erect. Here you can observe the stem is growing upright. Then moving further, leaves. Leaves are simple. The type of leaf is simple. That means the lamina is not dissected. The leaves are subsessile. That means the stalk of the leaf is so short that it is as good as sessile. Therefore it is described as subsessile. Leaves are exstipulate, that means stipule is not present. The phyllotaxy of the leaf is opposite decussate. We know that opposite phyllotaxy means on a single node there are two leaves, and opposite decussate means the successive pairs of the leaves are in right angles to each other. That is called as opposite decussate phyllotaxy. So here you can observe in Calotropis procera the upper pair of leaves and the successive, that is lower pair, is in right angles with each other. That is called as opposite decussate phyllotaxy. Then the leaf margin is entire, that means margins are smooth. Venation is unicostate reticulate. The leaves are having waxy coating. The leaves are coated with wax like substance. Therefore you can observe on the right hand picture that there are water droplets sticking to the leaf surface because of waxy coating. Leaves are reduced or even absent in case of succulent plants. Then coming to floral characters, starting with inflorescence. Mostly cymose inflorescence are found, like dichasial to multichasial cyme. What is a multichasial cyme? Multichasial cyme inflorescence, in this the main axis ends in a flower, and at the same time it again produces a number of lateral flowers around, and the oldest flower is in the center. So here in Calotropis you can observe multichesial cyme, where in the center you can see the oldest flowers and around periphery there are younger flowers. The inflorescence may also be racemose or umbellate. For example, Asclepias and Stapelia. So here in Asclepias you can see the umbellate cyme, that means umbel type of inflorescence, which is an indefinite type of inflorescence. Then coming to flower, flower is bracteate, that means it is having bracts. It is pedicellate, means flowers are having stalk. Flowers bisexual, that means androecium and gynoecium, both the essential whorls are present. Then actinomorphic, actinomorphic means flower is having radial symmetry, and we can cut the flower into two equal halves by any plane of division. Rarely the flower is zygomorphic, that means it is having bilateral symmetry. We can cut the zygomorphic flower into two equal halves by only one plane of division, that is called as zygomorphy. And the example of zygomorphy is Ceropegia. Then flower is complete, that means all the four floral whorls, calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium are present. Flower is pentamerous, that means floral whorls are in multiple of 5, and hypogynous, that means flower is having superior ovary. So here you can observe the Calotropis procera flower, which is actinomorphic, and Ceropegia flower, which is zygomorphic. Calotropis procera is having radial symmetry and Ceropegia is having bilateral symmetry. Then the first floral whorl, that is calyx. Sepals are 5, polysepalous or somewhat connate at base. The number of sepals is 5. Polysepalous means the sepals are free from each other but somewhat connate at base, that means at the base they are united to each other, that is called as connate. So here in the flower bud of Calotropis you can observe the sepals. Then the estivation in the sepals is valvate, imbricate or quincuntial. If you want to know in detail what is estivation, what are the types of estivation, then visit my channel. I have already uploaded 2 videos regarding the concept of estivation. Then the second floral whorl, that is corolla. Petals are 5, gamopetalous. So here gamopetalous means petals are united or fused with each other. Estivation is twisted, imbricate or valvate. Corolla tube zygomorphic in Ceropegia, funnel form in Cryptostegia. So here you can see zygomorphic corolla tube in Ceropegia, funnel form, funnel shaped in Cryptostegia. Corolla tube is with corona, made up of a ring of scales, hairs or processes. So corolla tube is having crown like structure. What is meant by corona? Crown like structure, and this crown like structure is made up of a ring of scales, hairs or processes. So here in this diagram you can see this is the magnified section of the flower. This is corona. Corona means crown like structure. Then the third floral whorl or the first essential whorl, that is androecium. Stamens are 5. Number of stamens are 5. Anthers are laterally united. That means anthers are united on their lateral side, giving rise to a 5-sided blunt cone. Because of this type of union, lateral union, it gives rise to five-sided blunt cone which is usually attached on the inside to the stigma head. So on its inside it is attached to the stigma head, the anthers. By this union of anthers and stigma, gynostegium is formed. The union of anthers and stigma, because of this anthers and stigma, this gynostegium is formed. So here in the magnification you can see gynostegium. It is formed from the union of stigma and the anthers. So this is gynostegium. Anthers are two-celled and their pollens often united within each anther sac into a structure called pollineum. Two pollinia, one each from the adjacent anthers, are united together by two arms. They are called as retinaculi and translators, attached to a central gland called as corpusculum. So here in this image you can see the pollinia. These are the pollinia, anther sacs. They are united together by two arms, that is retinaculi and translator, and they are attached to a central gland that is called as corpusculum. This is corpusculum. So this is the pollineum structure. Then gynoecium, that is the female reproductive structure. Carpels too, that is why bicarpellary. Carpels are free below but united by their apices into the single five-lobed stigma. Ovary superior, ovary of each carpel is unilocular, numerous ovules in each locule, marginal placentation, styles 2, stigma 1 and 5 lobed. Stigma is 1 and the lobes of stigma are 5. So here you can see the 5-lobed stigma. Ovary is superior, that means the remaining 3 valves, that is androecium, calyx and corolla, are inferior. Styles 2. So this is one style, this is another style. And stigma 1, stigma is 1, this is stigma. And 5-lobed, stigma is having 5 lobes. Placentation is marginal. Here this highlighted portion is the marginal placentation. Arrangement of ovules on marginal placentae. Then fruits and seeds. Type of fruit is a pair of follicles. So pair of follicles. Follicle is a type of dehiscent fruit which gets divided or dehisced by only one suture, that is ventral suture. Seeds numerous with tufts of silky hairs called as coma. So these coma help the seeds for their dispersal from fruit to various other regions. Pollination is entomophilous, that is insect pollination. The chief pollinating agents are butterflies. So these butterflies, they visit the flower and then to their body parts the pollinia gets attached. And what is pollinia? We know that pollinia contain the pollen grains, that means they are anther sacs, and whenever these butterfly visit another flower, then these pollinia are deposited on the stigma and pollination is resulted. Thank you very much. So this was the Asclepiadaceae part 1. In the part 2 we shall study the remaining parts in this family.